So a couple months back, I put the EcoHitch on my RAV4. It didn't come with a factory hitch or anything. Right after I got the hitch on there, I ended up getting a PAKMULE. And I gotta say, I've been very pleased with this thing. It's been awesome. Literally, if you went from a truck like what I had to a RAV4, you know, you've got your pros and cons with that. You know, obviously you lose your truck bed, but you know, hey, I love getting 32 miles to a gallon, so that's pretty amazing, you know, being able to get, you know, that kind of gas mileage. But you know, that's one reason why I wanted the platform. And most of the time, you know, whenever I use my truck anyways, I didn't use the whole bed. It's not like I'm hauling lumber or mulch or any of that kind of stuff. So I just wanted, you know, to have a little platform back here where I could haul some stuff. And so far I've used this thing to haul my luggage and stuff when I went on vacation. And then also I took the wheels and tires, the stock wheels and tires off of here and put the 19-inch Vox wheels on here. And so I had to haul the wheels and tires back and forth, so I just stuck the wheels and tires back here and no problems. I mean, this thing is awesome. Now I'll go ahead and tell you, if you've never tried the PAKMULE, it's unlike a lot of the other carriers just simply because it doesn't wobble, make noise, you know, like some of the others. Just absolutely drove me crazy. Anyways, the video today that I wanted to bring to you guys is EcoHitch is about equal right across as the exhaust tips on the RAV4. And so with that being said, the exhaust is just up under the PAKMULE, and that's fine. You know, everything that I put back here, it didn't affect it because it was the platform sit above the exhaust. But let's say you had a hitch that was a little bit lower, you know, that would put it, you know, being right here where the exhaust comes out, and you don't want that, you know, because it can melt all different stuff with that hot exhaust. So anyways, I didn't have any problems with that. But what I did have some problems with is I went to go up a little road and it was really steep, and I drug a little bit on the back corner here, but it didn't hurt the PAKMULE because this thing's built like a tank. So I wanted to put a riser on here, and so PAKMULE does make two different risers. They've got, well, of course, the straight, and then they've got a 4-inch riser and a 7-inch riser. And I did my measurements and I decided on getting the 7-inch just simply because we've got the RAV4 and we've got a Jeep Gladiator, and I thought, well, if we wanted to take this thing camping, I didn't want to have to deal with worrying about departure angles when she go up a hill. You know, I didn't want to drag the back. That's what we're going to be doing today, is adding a 7-inch riser on the RAV4, and I can't wait to see what it's going to look like. And I think it'll make it look a little bit sportier, just simply because right now with the straight tongue on it, it's a little bit low for my taste, but in the Gladiator it's absolutely perfect. I figured with the 7-inch rise, it should put us somewhere around in here, and that should be perfect. I should be able to open the hatch and it not get in the way. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get the rise put on here and let you see what it looks like. Now before I go ahead and pull this off, I just wanted to show you, this has been one of my favorite things about the PAKMULE, is the thing is really light. And I didn't realize how heavy those steel ones were until I got this. This thing only weighs like 40 pounds. I mean, it's ridiculous. You can easily manhandle this thing. Now to remove the straight tongue off of here and add the rise, the first thing that you'll want to do is remove the 2 Phillips head screws. They're in the middle, and they're actually Phillips head bolts. And when I put this on here before, I put just a little dab of anti-seize lubricant on there because I knew that I would be putting a rise on here at a later date, and that's why they come out so easy. Next, I'm going to go ahead and open the box from PAKMULE. And you can see immediately that this thing is built like a freaking tank. I mean, look at how beefed up that thing is with those plates in there. I mean, that's unreal. So whenever I got the rise, it comes with all of the hardware that's already attached to the PAKMULE. It comes with these brackets. You can see 4 brackets. It comes with extra brackets, and then it comes with all of the hardware. and the wrenches. So a lot of that I'm not even gonna use, but I'll keep it in the package in case I, you know, need an extra bolt or something like that. But I don't think I'll ever use it. But really, the only tools that you'll need is a 9/16 wrench and a ratchet, and that's to remove the lock nut and then pull these bolts out of it right there. And I went ahead and removed all of them right in there. And some of these will come out just by pushing them with your fingers, and then some of these are going to need to be tapped with a hammer just because they fit in there really tight. So I went ahead and pulled all the bolts out of there, and so this piece here should just kind of raise up. And again, that's a tight fit. And then you've seen this inner sleeve come loose, but it just fits in there just like this. But yeah, all I got to do is set this piece off to the side, and then I'm going to put the rise in here. But you might have to take a mallet and tap that in there and get the holes to line up, but you get the idea of where it's supposed to be. I'm not going to sit here and beat on it and blow your eardrums out. So instead of tapping on it with a mallet, we just actually laid it on the ground, and I actually just stepped on it and tapped on it with a piece of wood, and it just fell in place. And then next, you just want to put your flat washers on there. You got 4 of them. And then you're going to put your lock washers on. And then you repeat it for over here, just your lock washers and your flat washers and your lock nuts. Now before you get all those bolts tightened up, you need to come back over to the front and put these 2 little Phillips head screws in place. And you know, if you try to put them in and they don't line up, then go back and loosen those bolts on the back some more, and then come back here on the front and, you know, put these in and get them all lined up and tightened up. But you can see there shouldn't be any struggling here to tighten these, you know, in place. All right guys, like I said earlier in the video, I've got the EcoHitch, and so you can see that it's in line with the tailpipes. So, you know, that'll give you a good reference, you know, depending on whatever hitch you're running. It'll give you a sort of a reference on if you want the 4-inch riser or the 7-inch riser. Like I said, it just really depends on where your hitch, you know, falls into place. All right guys, so you can see I've got the 7-inch riser installed. Now I can tell that it added a little bit more weight up to the front, but not much. But you can see that it's going to add a little bit of room between the bumper and the pack mule. So, you know, there's not a lot of room with the straight shaft on there, but with the riser, it adds a little bit more room in here where I can get in there and tighten it up a lot easier. And what I mean by that, there's a locking anti-rattle hitch pin, and that keeps this thing from wobbling. And so I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and install it in the back of the RAV4. And you can see that, man, that looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. I'm so glad to have that rise on there. I think it makes the back of the vehicle look a lot more sportier now. Before, it looked like it was just so low that I was scared I was going to hit back into something or somebody's going to hit me. But I think with a 7-inch rise on there, it looks good. All right, so to get this finally finished and installed, you want to go ahead and install the pin here, and it's got a washer, but then you'll notice the pin has some threads in it right there. And the reason it's got threads in there is it threads into that part that fits into the receiver. And you know, once you tighten it down with a ratchet and a 22 millimeter socket, once you tighten this down, it takes all the slop and play out of that hitch and keeps it from wobbling. And so that's one thing I really like about this thing, is there's no wobble to it. those cheap ones that you get at Walmart, well, the ones that I got probably 10, 20 years ago at Walmart, they had a lot of play in them. And I haven't bought one since because I didn't like them wiggling and making jarring noises every time, you know, I'd hit a bump, think something was loose or wrong or something. And so it always freaked me out. So I never bought another one. But the way that this one, you know, just tightens up into that piece down there, it takes all that, eliminates every bit of the wobble. Now, then you've got this locking piece that uses a key that plugs in, that hooks into there, that unlocks the lock. Yeah, this thing, it's pretty neat how it works. Went ahead and lined it up with a hole right in there. If you guys can see that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start threading it by hand. Okay, and you can see that once you get that tightened down in there, I mean, look at that. I mean, there ain't no side to side play in that, no wobbling. It really does a good job. Now I got a little bit ahead of myself. I went ahead and tightened that down, and I shouldn't have tightened it all the way up. I should have put this locking piece on there, get it locked in place, and then go back and make my final tighten. And again, and you can see that it takes every bit of the play out of that. I mean, it does a great job. All right, so when you go from the straight tongue, that's able to carry a capacity of 500 pounds. Then when you go up to the 4-inch and the 7-inch rise, it lowers that capacity down to 300 pounds. So that is one drawback. You do lose some weight carrying capacity. But I will tell you this, I'm about 320 something pounds, and I ain't got no problems sitting on it. That's a pretty good load for this thing, and I don't feel like it's going anywhere. I mean, you can see how sturdy that thing is. I gotta say, I put a lot of stuff on the back of this thing since I've had it. Literally, this ain't just one of those, you know, show and tell videos where, you know, yeah, he probably used it just for the video and never used it again. No, I drove to Nashville with luggage on the back of this thing, and I couldn't even tell it was back here. And then I left Nashville, come back home. I was home for a week or two, and then went to Atlanta. 2 or 3 times I've been to Atlanta, and I've had luggage on the back of here. I had a gun case on the back of here. Let's see, I had, you know, wheels and tires from where I switched them out, put the 19s on here. I had all those 4 wheels, 4 tires on here. Didn't even weight it down. Gotta say, that's an advantage of being fat. You can weight test this thing. But I really do have to say that with that rise on there, it really made the RAV4 look a lot sportier than with it, you know, having that straight shaft going out the back. Plus, I think it made it a lot safer too, because I did notice one time I had a girl behind me putting on her makeup at a red light, and she wasn't paying attention, about rear-ended me, and it's probably because it wasn't high enough. So I think getting that 7-inch rise on there is really going to help it, and I'm going to put a couple red reflectors on the back so people can notice it a little bit more. Earlier, what I was saying about there being more room between the PAKMULE and the edge of the RAV4, it gives you a lot more room to get in here, so I can work on it and tighten it up. Where with the straight tongue, there's not much room in here. It's hard for me to get in here being a big guy like me. But with the rise, it does offer a lot more room in between here, and I do like that a lot better. It makes it easier for me to be able to get in there and take it on and off. Now, I just wanted to show you guys how much room you'll have when you open and close the hatch. Now, keep in mind, I do have the EcoHitch installed on here, so yours might be a little bit different depending on what hitch you have. So you can see I've got plenty enough room to open the rear hatch. I mean, you can still see right there. I mean, I've got plenty enough room. It wouldn't even hit till probably about probably about right in here if there was stuff on the back of the pack mule. So that is pretty neat, you know, to still be able to have that rise and be able to open the hatch up. Now, who is this product for? It's for everybody. Like I said, you can use it for just putting everyday stuff on here, going to the grocery store, and you know, if you've got a cooler in the back, or if you've got, you know, going to the hardware store, you know, anything you want to throw on here. Concrete, you can put some concrete on here, not very many bags, but I mean, you can put a few. Mulch, things like that, and there's plenty enough room. This is a bigger platform than most of them. That's one thing I have noticed. It is a lot wider of a platform. Also, let's say you're overlanding. I see a trend with a lot of RAV4 guys doing overlanding and making off-road machines out of these. You could easily, you know, put your gear on the back of here, and since you got that 7 inches of rise, you don't have to worry about the ground clearance. Anyways, I just think it makes a lot of sense to have this, and especially if you don't own a truck, this can take the place of a truck if you don't need to, you know, haul nothing crazy big, you know. But again, I've hauled quite a bit of stuff on here in the short amount of time that I've owned it. In fact, I keep it on the back of here all the time, and I didn't know if my gas mileage was going to go down, or I didn't know if it would cause the vehicle to act funny because it's such a small vehicle. But like I said, the first time I took it on a trip, I drove to Nashville with some luggage on the back, and I didn't even notice it. And honestly, the thing only weighs like 40 something pounds, and so I didn't even see a decrease in gas mileage. I've just been leaving it on here. The thing's been on my back of my vehicle for a couple months now. I've not taken it off, just simply because I've enjoyed it that much and enjoy having that ability to haul stuff if I need to. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this video answered some questions for you, and you know, cleared up some questions that you might have had. And if you appreciate the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Guys, I don't make anything off this. I do it because I like doing it, and it's kind of a hobby for us. And I appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell, because I got a lot more content coming out almost every week, guys. I mean, literally, I've got videos coming out all the time. So until next time, see ya. Thanks for watching.